Alright, everything looks to be in order. Greetings and salutations everyone, I'm Ekamak, this is Final Fantasy Dawntrail. We tune in once again. We did do a little bit of work off screen. Well, actually no, I did stream that and then I uploaded it to my channel. And then nobody looked at it and I felt very sad. So the next thing that happened, after we got back to the... that would be my lunchtime alarm. After we got back, Wuklama immediately asked for our business, so let's get on with that. Did I turn the game volume down a bit too much? Oh wait, this is when we get introduced to her. Peshiwa, what are you doing up and about? Is your back feeling better? It's much healed now, so don't make a fuss. Besides, I can't be lounging in bed all day when you're out there fighting your hardest to win the throne. You're the claimant with the greatest love for peace. I love this nation. Lending you my support. I love this nation of ours. Lending you my support is the least I can do. When I see you smile like that, how can I not be encouraged? Oh, there's plenty more who believe in your cause. I can recruit a whole battalion of smiling faces if you'll think it'll help. Yours alone is more than enough. Thank you, Peshiwa. And thank you, Third Promise. I shall pray for your success in the contest. All those smiling faces. Sorry, Ibuki, I'm getting distracted. It's just that with the progress we've made in the contest, even these everyday encounters feel that much more special. Do you think we can take our time and maybe wander around a little first? Then we can head to that spot I was thinking of.
This is much better. I used to come here all the time when I was little. I'd look out over the whole city, and whatever worries I had would seem so small. Do you remember what I said at the top of Orkor Zormor? That I would fight to preserve Papa's peaceful Tural? Well, I've been thinking a lot since then. About what peace really means. If it's just the absence of war. And it brought to mind all the best parts of our journey so far. I realize nothing gives me greater joy than the happiness of others. Life has its ups and downs, but the company of family and friends and the music of their laughter is what makes it worth living. And as silly as it might sound, I've come to believe that those smiling faces are the best measure of peace.
You wish for a world like in the Yokui's dream?
With eternal life and no struggle or conflict, it's certainly an ideal worth striving for. Who knows if we could make such a world a reality? But renouncing war and conquest seems like a good place to start.
It sounds like the Asian's old world, though.
So, this is my plan.
When I become Dawn Servant, I'll build on Papa's peace. Our people will live together in harmony.
It's just like Kryl said. By taking the time to hear their concerns, understand their feelings, and consider how best to serve, with each passing day, I'll be that much closer to becoming the leader I want to be. It's hard for me to say how much I've changed since the contest began. But there's one thing I can say with confidence. I wouldn't have come this far without you as allies. If it wasn't for you all listening and feeling and thinking along with me, I would have never learned so much, and in so short a time.
What is with this phrase of hear, feel, think continually popping up?
There are 2 keystones left. After everything that's happened, and imagining what could happen, are you still willing to walk this path with me? Thank the gods for that. Well, I've nothing else to get off my chest. I need to head to the palace, but I'll see you back at the cabins.
It will never... I'm always going to be thrown off by how unsecure our room looks. I feel like anyone who really wanted to burgle us would just walk over here and then cut a small hole in those planks. Maybe it's relying on the fact that it's so out in the open that anyone up to fishy business would be visible for moms, but ninja is still a class. You look to be in good spirits. I assume your leisure time was well spent? I was glad to snatch some quality sleep myself, eh? After all, it will soon be back to the road for us. Elfno seems eager to review your journey thus far. I'm sure the others will be along shortly. I do hope everyone has rested well. Now that we have refreshed ourselves somewhat, let us consider the complaint all claimants as they currently stand. Zoroja and Kawana have completed every thief feat thus far, and hold 5 keystones apiece. Wuklamar would be equal with them but for Bakujaja's thievery, which has left us one short. The conniving braggart didn't so much as lift a finger for the feat of proof and wreaked havoc for the feat of ice. He can't have more than 3 keystones at most. He may think he can simply steal what he needs to win, but he's sorely mistaken. I will be taking back what is mine. This I swear. I fear that your reclaiming the key keystone may not be enough. That is, if Bakujaja's unleashing of Valagamanda is any indication. Using his lead, I anticipate he will move to obtain the remaining keystones before disrupting his rival's attempts. We may all find ourselves being forced to take from one another. I can't say I'd be comfortable with that. But neither will I surrender my claim to the throne so easily. If it's for the sake of preserving the happiness of my people, I'll do what I must. The last 2 keystones we require are those of the Lay of Repast and the Lay of the Brotherhood. The former depicts the cessation of hostilities between the Mamouja and the Xbral in the forests of Ayaktel, specifically near a village called Ikbrax. That's where I was born, if you recall. I haven't been there since Papa took me in when I was a baby. Where the Lay of Brotherhood takes place, however, is unclear. In the saga, it is said that a foreign explorer came seeking an audience with the Dawn Servant, but little more than that. Eorzea has a similar tale. The explorer Kentenram befriended a 2-headed king known as the Autarch before commencing his travels across Tural. He journeyed here several times afterwards, but was ultimately lost at sea. At least that is the commonly held belief. Your 2-headed king certainly sounds like Papa. So this Kentenram fellow must have come to Tuliyola. But if he indeed arrived some 80 years ago, the capital may not have been built yet. Vestiges of Yokwi architecture notwithstanding. Wait, you said Autarch, didn't you? Then Kentenram must have met the Dawn Servant in Mamuk. Mamuk, is that a city? One of the grandest in Tural once upon a time, and the seat of Mamouja's homeland. It too lies in Yaktel, not far from Ikbrax. In all things considered, Yaktel seems the obvious choice for our next destination. From here, the safest method of travel is by dirigible. We should make for the landing once our preparations are complete. We're riding in one of Koala's balloons? They can't be worse than ships, can they? Always assume, yes, it'll be worse. That way you're not unpleasantly surprised. It's still unpleasant, but it's not. Hey, at least it's not a surprise. Man, I didn't realize that Hulk Arte was such a pessimist now that I think about it. The next flight to Yaktel will be leaving shortly. Passengers are asked to keep hands, legs, and luggage inside the dirigible at all times. What about road sparrows? What do you do with road sparrows? They didn't explain the minions. Are we sure that thing will stay in the air all the way to Yaktel? Are you ready? Bags packed and goodbye said. There's no going back once we lift off. Not that I'm nervous or anything, I'm just making sure that you're not nervous. You promised to stop putting up a brave front. Oh, who am I kidding? My knees won't stop shaking. Will you hold my hand just until I've settled my nerves? Let's be fair, Ibuki would absolutely do it. Of course! You're the nicest person I've ever met, Ibuki. I'll try not to crush your hand. There she is! Third promise! Wait just a moment! Oh wait, it's these guys. I missed the name. Mablu and Tobli. Of course, I'll wait as long as you need. Sorry to delay you, but we were able to discover the origin of Krau's earring. Is that so? You said before that it gained popularity in Dawntrail as protective ward for travelers, correct? That's right. We tracked down the elderly merchant to whom first sales were attributed. According to him, the design imitates an accessory worn by a foreign mage he met at a market some 20 years ago. Little did he know that charming taste of salt would prove to be a commercial triumph. A foreign mage wearing this earring could only be grandfather. Did the merchant happen to mention which market? One in Yaktel, one to where it seems you are already bound. What luck! Then I shall seek my next clue once we arrive. Is it mere coincidence that brought my grandfather there? Or yet another discovery to look forward to. Thank you both for coming all this way. Anything for the third promise. Good luck with the rest of the rite. Thanks, I won't let you down. I won't let you down. I've just got to burn this dirigible and I'm as good as there. Last call for passengers to Yaktel. I really hope she wins. Yaktel will test her mettle without a doubt. The next Dawn Servant must be willing to bear the full weight of this nation's history, no matter how heavy it may be. Tobly, do you know about what's going on in Yaktel? I mean, I know, but I wouldn't have thought that he'd be aware of it. Or maybe it's more common knowledge than I thought.
The fierce Shebral hunters who laid claim to this land call it the Azure Forest, Yaktel. Battered by meteors in ancient times and colored mesmerizing shades of blue and green by nature, it is easy to understand why the place is so named.
Why is it suddenly daytime?
It is here where the Shebral and Mamulja once battled for dominance, that the right of succession would reach its climax.
Are you all right?
I've never been good with heights.
The vegetation is far denser than in Kozamauka.
I suggest you pay more attention to the ground, unless you want to walk straight into a cenote.
A cenote?
Sinkholes filled with rain and groundwater. Many meteors fell here long ago, it is said, and after they struck the Earth, it became susceptible to erosion. Deep as some of the pits are, you'll not climb out in a hurry should you take a tumble. So, don't take a tumble.
It was one time.
Is the Shebral community depicted in the Lay of Repast close by?
Aye. We need but follow the path a short way west.
Right. I can't stand here with my knees knocking forever. Let's get going.
With thicker vegetation comes reduced visibility. I suggest you keep someone in sight at all times. Yeah, now it's nighttime and it's raining. I guess they didn't want to ruin the cutscene by having the weather and the time actually matter. Southwest, so it should be along the road that we're already traveling, huh? 108. Giant sugar gliders. It should be visible any sec. There it is. It was hidden in the trees. Good, everyone's accounted for. XIV is up ahead, let's be on our way. So there's a specific optional line with Alizé that I want to get, so I have to make sure to talk to her here. Well, let's talk to everyone. What's so blue about this forest? You'll see. Ha! I've fallen into the high tide harbour enough times to be a professional diver. There's no way I'd fall into something like this on accident. Are all cenotes this deep, I wonder? Just so you know, I shall be very cross if you push me. You poke Alizé. I just had to. Erenville was not exaggerating about the cenotes. It would be a grueling ordeal to climb out of one. Well, thankfully we made it here without incident. Let's not dally any longer. Wooklamart's attention is divided between the perilously deep cenote and Ikbrax. Ready to head on in? Our first task should be finding the Elector. Hopefully our relative tardiness will not reflect poorly upon us. The third promise and her retinue, I presume? You presume right. I seek the Dawn Servant's Elector. Then come and join us in the Garden of the Stars at the village center. Everyone is waiting for you. You're a week late. What took you? Everyone? And who might that be? There is but one way to find out. Come, let us follow him. Oh, I just remembered the thing that I wanted to do and I didn't remember to do.
At last, we are graced by the presence of the third promise.
Ugh. Careful, mate. You might hurt yourself with that sarcasm.
If I'd known we'd be waiting on your mangy hide, I wouldn't have bothered with Ligarmanda in the first place.
You self-serving piece of weaver dung! Do you have any idea how many could have been hurt?
Now that we are assembled, let us begin. My name is Hunmuruk. As a Brash Rash, I have the honor of serving as Elector on behalf of my people. As all four claimants must be present for this feat, we have eagerly awaited your arrival. Third promise. If you would please join us.
Still haven't forgiven you for the cave-in.
Thus far, you have faced each other as rivals. The feat of repast, however, will test your cooperation. You must complete this challenge in teams of 2.
What? You expect us to work with one of these weaklings?
Yes.
Be warned. Only the triumphant team will receive keystones. I advise you to cooperate with your partner. Teams will be decided by lots. Those who draw the same color will be paired accordingly.
Twelve forbid Wuklamat is paired with Bakul Jaja. After all he's put her through, I wouldn't blame her if she did something rash. I might even help.
We still want to win. We can execute him for treason after we win.
Claimants, please present your colors. I have red. Blue. On separate teams, then. And the rest?
Red. Which means...
We finally get a lucky break. We were overdue for something nice.
Together again, as fate would have it.
Victory's as good as ours.
With our claimants thus paired, so too is their opposition.
Okay, we are... This area has the next dungeon in it, so I might end up going overtime and playing straight till the front of the next dungeon, so we'll have to see. But on the other hand, it would be nice if I could end on a dungeon with the dungeon rather than finish, so we'll have to see what sort of time we're making.
Not the one-head.
Listen well, for the trial that awaits you is as follows. Each team is to prepare a sample of traditional Shebrol cuisine. Shibruk Pibil.
A cooking contest.
And now we must cook. Another ludicrous feat.
So it might seem, but there's bound to be deeper meaning to it.
Agreed. Given that the very future of our nation is at stake, all parts of this rite must have significance.
Our promises have grown rather promising, wouldn't you say? Indeed. If I were to guess at the significance of the feat, few things reflect the history and development of a culture so clearly as its culinary traditions.
The variety of stewed dishes in Garlean cuisine bespeaks their agricultural roots and cold climes, true.
The peoples we've met on our journey, they've all had different practices involving food and drink. The Hanuhanu replenish their magical energies with reeds, while the Pelupelu have turned their fondness of beverages into a living. So basically, to know a people's cuisine is to know something of their ways.
With each feat, we have deepened our familiarity with a given community's history and culture. Is this what Father intended for us all along? But a leader with his vision must see that the past doesn't hold the answers we need. It is through embracing innovation, not adhering to tradition, that we will usher Tuli Yolal onto a more prosperous future.
How can you see so far and yet be so blind at the same time, buddy?
The rules are simple. The first team to prepare and partake of satisfactory Shibruk Pivil will be deemed victorious. You will be judged by your sample's taste and appearance, as well as your adherence to appropriate cooking techniques. Kitchens have been made available for your use. Note that you may be asked to retry should your dish fail to pass muster. Let the feat of repast begin.
I've never actually heard of Shibruk Pibil before. What's it like, I wonder?
Do you suppose the first promise and Baku Jaja will wear matching aprons? Ideally hope so. Only 2 claimants can receive keystones from this fate. Intimidating perhaps, but irrelevant. We must prevail. The second promise will no doubt have thoughts on how best to proceed. Let's ask for his perspective. The first promise and Baku Jaja are formidable on the field, but in the kitchen? I think the odds are in our favor. I consider myself a connoisseur of all things tasty and Turali, but this is the first I've heard of Expert Pibil. As much as I would have loved to defeat you all in a high-stakes culinary battle, I couldn't ask for better allies. For the pairings to be thus decided, the stars align for us indeed. How fortunate for us, this feat's unique stipulations have frustrated Baku Jaja's attempts to delay us. Serves him right. That's what he gets for endangering my people with his schemes. Why doesn't he just compete fairly? He's plenty strong. And obviously he has a mind for strategy, twisted though it may be. I'll never understand him. Putting aside our competition for the moment, allow me to express how glad I am for this opportunity to work together. As I see it, our team possesses a distinct advantage. Of course we do. Any team I'm on is bound to succeed. Precisely. You mean we have an advantage in numbers, yes? Our competition has a team of 6, the 2 claimants, Saril Bunja and Bakul Jaja as lackeys, whereas we are a team of 9, that's 3 more people we can mobilize. With this task suitably delegated, it should be a brisk affair to learn the recipe and assemble the necessary ingredients. Too easy! But we mustn't be overconfident lest we make a careless mistake that could have easily been avoided. Our first order of business should be to determining the recipe for Expert Pibil. We can hardly gather ingredients for a dish we know nothing about. Given the nature of this feat, asking for answers directly may prove less effective than simply observing the daily habits of 6 people. Let us gather here once we have seen what clues this village has to offer. Okay, I have 2 stopping points in mind for today's stream. We'll see where we end up with as it is. But also, Mount Time. We're gonna ride Magitech armor through the village. Here, I'll help you cook. A number of spices, some entirely unfamiliar to you, are nestled in a basket. That one's called akiot. We mostly use it to add a bit of colour to our most popular cuisine, but its medical benefits are significant as well. Alright, where else could there be someone hiding? Fastidious fellow. The recipe for Expert Pibil? wish I could tell you, friend. A dish so delicious it is meant to be shared. Alas, we are forbidden from divulging anything. Orders from Hunmu Rook himself. While you're mentioning it has given me a fierce craving. I only hope there's still a brew to be had at market. Wink. He legit just... They can't directly tell us, but they'll do what they can. We ought to cut our losses and head to Mamook. This feat is nothing but a fool's errand. You're the fool if you think you won't tan our hides for leather if we dare return without enough keystones. Besides, we've already taken from the house cat before. How difficult could a second time be? Afternoon. What are you looking at, salt liquor? Mind your own business. Bye. Oh, I should probably attune to the Aetheryte here, shouldn't I? What can I do for you, miss? We just received a delivery, so my wares are available to all who can offer me gemstones. It's the usual gemstone trader. Rautiukubuk. Bright banana peel. What fun this is. An unusually coloured banana peel has been neatly arranged on the ground, which appears to be smoking. Oh no! It appears I've gone and dropped my Najul, Jatika banana peel. I could barely see it for all the steam issuing from my underground oven. There's nothing like enjoying a tasty banana while you use the leaves in your cooking. They're cooks, not actors. But I suppose the idea is that we pick up these, that we pick up the recipe just from contextual clues. Sorry, I'm back. What did we discover about XIV? True to your prediction, the villagers were forbidden from educating us directly. However, many were still preparing it as one might a staple dish, and observation of their techniques yielded clues enough. A lady blending local herbs and spices was only too happy to describe the ones I didn't recognize, while neither confirming nor denying any relation to Zeebrugge Pavil. But one in particular she attributed to all common mixed brown dishes. Akiote, she called it. I see. Then if the Zeebrugge Pavil is indeed a dish as ubiquitous as the known claims, we have confirmed our first ingredient. Meanwhile, I did observe a cook bearing bundles of wrapped in leaf of Najul, or banana in certain localities. It would seem the use of subterranean oven flames is commonplace. I saw the same. Think we all know what's inside those bundles then, don't you? The squeaky flesh of bipedal fish. A seasoning slab of beef. Sounds so good I could practically taste it. It's Zeebrugge. As one to be expected of a dish called Zeebrugge Pavil, indeed. So to summarize, this dish is one of Zeebrugge, flavored with a combination of spices that includes akiote and steamed on ground with Najul, or banana leaves. Given our assumptions are correct, we must now learn where and how to procure our ingredients. As a staple cuisine, its ingredients would be close at hand, which is why Thangred and I scouted the surrounding forest while you were all exploring the village. Between local vegetation and wildy root, we should have everything we need in regards to meat and spices. Heh, leave it to Master Gleaner. With that, we should divvy up our next tasks. While some gather ingredients, others should make ready the kitchen. I can help prepare the kitchen. Permit me to assist Samuel. Our ovens will doubtless require firewood. I have some experience in its gathering. I too shall be glad to volunteer mine aid. Then the rest of us will gather ingredients. I can make quick work of the spices and herbs myself. I am happy to lead someone to a suitable lead route if they will perform the requisite deed. Alizé? As for the Najul leaves, I believe I am capable of acquiring that much on my own. Be warned, you won't find Najul in these parts. They only grow in Jatika heartland, forests far below these. Such an excursion may be time-consuming. Perhaps we ought to try bartering first. This feat encourages our communication with the locals, after all. Amachi, Ibuki, if you will accompany me on my errand. No better way to whet my appetite. Good, let us be about our tasks then. Do you think that Wuklama heard cooking competition and immediately assumes that we get to eat entries? Come on, let's go get those Najul leaves. The sooner we do, the sooner we can eat. Wait, what does Kwana have to say? Amachi had no specific task assigned to her, so I had her accompany me. No more, no less. Kawana has the look of a man intent on finding bananas. Let us see if there are Najul leaves to be had in town. Perhaps the cook Urianje mentioned might be persuaded to spare us a few. Oh, it's not a follower mission. I'd have liked to hear what Kawana has to say with him following us around. The earth here is indeed fashioned into an oven of sorts. Fascinating. An underground oven. This must be the cook Urianje was talking about. Oh, hello again. Did you need something? Najul leaves for purposes other than Zeebrugg Pavil naturally. Unfortunately, I've just used up my last. You'd have to travel to the lower forests for more. Gomajik Grove is the source of the finest Najul leaves you'll find. Wild variants you sometimes see in city markets can't compare. I see, I had hoped to avoid such a lengthy venture, but if there's no way to obtain our ingredient, then to the Jakti Heartland we shall go. Allow me to save you the trip. Oh, it's the Elector. Traveling there requires that you go through Tynebig Traverse, but it has caved in due to the recent storm, I expect. It's always that storm. That storm is probably going to be the level 100 boss of all this. What? But that means we can't get our Najul leaves. But we can, can't we? If there was no other way of procuring them, you would have suspended this feat or altered its objective. Perhaps. Anyway, I apologize for the interruption, but having overheard your conversation, I felt compelled to chime in. That's very kind of you. Any last-minute advice you'd be willing to share? Only to undertake the feat of repast with an empty stomach. You might find Zeebrugge Pibil to be a delicious but daunting dish to finish. Heh, I can't wait. Apparently he thinks you should also be allowed to eat your entries. Go figure. Still, if there are no leaves here, we can't travel for more. How are we supposed to gather all our ingredients? These feats are meant to deepen our understanding of the peoples and cultures of Tuliolo. So perhaps there is something about the Zeebrugge Pibil that we have yet to learn. Something of significance other than its recipe or ingredients. Oh, I see, like who was the first to make it, its history, that sort of thing. If it's Yaktel's history you're interested in, you should start with the old war. Between the Xbrail and the Mamoja, right? These forests have borne witness to centuries of warfare, the evidence of which remains a scar upon the earth. To know the end of that bloodshed is to know Zeebrugge Pibil. Huh? What does steamed Zeebrugge have to do with bloodshed? Precisely the question we must answer. Vexing though such a detour may seem, I can think of no other way to approach this feat. In that case, you may wish to visit the site of the settlement ruined by the war, the village of Ilion Asso. It lies a short distance to the east. The village of Ilion Asso? Understood, thank you for your help. Come on, let's go see this place. Let's go, Behemoth Mount! Also make sure to hit the Aether Compass every now and then. Further southwest, really? I know that somewhere around here there's actually the edge of this region and we can't move further without actually doing the thing. We have to complete the contest before we're allowed to access the other half of the map. Oh wait, to the north, huh? Well, the main scenario is already close enough. The village of Ilion Asso must be further east. Let us continue with haste, for all we know our competitors may be on our heels. It's a good old chocobo. I was worried it might start raining, and apparently it did. Sorry, I'm gonna go microphone deaf for a little bit. This place feels forgotten by time. So this is the village of Ilianaso, or what's left of it. It was a place of light and life. My great-grandfather called it home, in fact. Ukevoo, I didn't know you were in Yaktel. I was picking up lumber from Ikbarax when I heard the third promise woman was on her way to this site of deep historical significance. I immediately saw another opportunity to be of service. To be of service, so he followed you here. Oh boy. Not a good voice to go for when you've got a bit of a cough. Ukevoo is a shipwright who came to our aid during the Feat of Reeds. A pleasure. You are a member of the Third Promise's retinue, I presume? For the moment, I suppose I am. My name is Koana. Pleased to make your acquaintance. Koana. Now that's a good name. A familiar name. Where have I heard? ... Koana, as in the second promise of Tuliolal? To think I addressed the Dawn Servant's own son as some common retainer. Such disrespect cannot be excused. Please take up your gun and... Oh, not this again. I take no offense, so please do not dwell on it. Alright then, I shan't dwell on it. And right on cue, at least he's consistent. I understand you wish to learn about Zeebruk Pabil. Why, I'm forbidden by the XIV to divulge any information regarding its preparation. I would be happy to share what I know of Yaktel's history. We'd appreciate that. In its most basic sense, the conflict between Exbral and Mamouja was one of land. The Mamouja lived in the lower forest where the thick canopy obscures the sun and the soil is unforgiving to crops. This drove them to covet the upper forest, the home of the Exbral, and they launched a determined campaign to seize it for themselves. Yet advantage ever favors the high ground. The Exbral forces held the upper hand against the invaders, rebuffing them time and time again. But as the state of this village would attest, the tide eventually turned. What brought it about? Something you know all too well. Blessed siblings. You must understand, the Mamouja were once a people as much at war with themselves as they were with others. The Hubigo, the Bunawa, and Dopro each sought to assert dominance over the others, even as they engaged the Exbral in battle. In an effort to strengthen the bonds and discourage infighting, Hubigo and Bunawa leaders arranged a marriage between their children. However, this political measure altered the course of history in ways no one could have ever imagined. It was long believed that partners of different clans could not have children together. But then it happened. A child arrived who shared the blood of Hubigo and Bunawa both, a two-headed Mamouja. Blessed with tremendous physical strength and magical prowess, he grew into a mighty warrior before eventually rising as the first autarch, ruler of all three clans. Such qualities would dispose anyone to leadership, character notwithstanding. Under the autarch's rule, the newly united Mamouja became a force to be feared, and the war soon came to a head. I think it's best you see the results firsthand. Let us visit another battlefield from that time. There I shall continue the tale. This is definitely a battlefield. By the 12. What happened here?
This is where most battles were fought between the Shabral and Mamulja, the Shobrit Cinder Field.
A field of cinders, indeed. How fierce their clashes must have been.
The war over these lands began after the Yoqui's departure some 500 years ago. And for 4 centuries thereafter, the two enemies repaid violence with violence. A constant stream of minor skirmishes, punctuated by massive slaughter.
Until Father ended their endless conflict 80 years ago.
Accompanied by a retinue of only 6, the Dawn Servant opposed both armies and brought the fighting to a standstill.
First they sealed Valley Armanda at full strength, and now this.
It was during this armistice that both sides gathered for negotiations at the Dawn Servant's behest.
Well, that's an interesting time for an echo.
For too long, you have been bound by your ancestors' violent legacy. It is past time you broke free of it.
Tell that to the Scale Scum! We fight to protect what is rightfully ours! If not for their greed, we'd be living in peace!
Buff your tails and scurry off, then! Cowards like you ill-deserve the bounty of this forest.
Even should one of you succeed in vanquishing the other, your triumph will last only until a new invader arrives. Tell me, do you know of the vast continent that lies far to the east, where numerous nations vie for dominance? You do not. And why should you? Affairs beyond the salt we have no intention to cross are of no consequence to us. Not until those affairs come to Tural, like our honored visitor here.
He's from across the ocean.
I've been to the ocean before, and it's nothing but water farther than the eye can see. What sort of vessel could possibly reach its end?
That such technology exists is indisputable, as is foreign powers' awareness of Tural. If any such country were to develop a taste for Turali soil and bring to bear the might of innovations we can only imagine, what do you suppose happens then? You do not know the warlords of the East, but you know that if they came, they would not settle for a single forest. By joining hands, we might create a unified front, an alliance capable of repelling them or any other foe. There is no greater proof of these than my companions and I. Alone we are weak, but together we triumphed over Valigarmanda.
What?
You defeated the Sky Ruin?
More locked him in a block of ice, but close enough.
I'd take you for a liar if the sting of our own defeat wasn't still fresh.
Their coordination was indeed impressive. How the Belu stymied our efforts to cripple the Yokui's legs and defend our ballistas. And when we withdrew to strike again from a distance, the Hanu called the winds to make our arrows miss their marks. In seeking to exploit their weaknesses, we only subjected ourselves to their strengths.
Those strengths are born of cooperation. The guiding principle of the nation we envision.
But our feud has lasted for centuries. How do you expect us to join hands now?
Ha ha! Give us an evening to convince you.
And so began that legendary banquet. One would not expect sworn enemies to abruptly drink to each other's health, and, indeed, a tense silence hung over the venue. But then, the Dawn servant called for the exchange of traditional cuisine. So it was that the Mamulja partook of spiced meat, and the Chebral steamed Najul. Before long, delight manifested upon the faces of those present, each side impressed by the other's dish. Seeing this, the Dawn servant laughed and declared once more. Their flavors, he said, would be even better combined, and he proceeded to help them prepare the new creation.
That's Shibruk Pibil, I'd wager.
It is a marriage of Chebral and Mamulja cultures, and proof of their newfound cooperation. The Dawn servant had asked for a single evening, but the feasting is said to have lasted 3 days and 3 nights. So delicious was their repast. In the end, a peace accord was reached, and the Dawn servant's words at that time still illuminate our way forward.
Ignorance begets strife.
Understanding begets fellowship.
Sorry. It's just to think that he ended an age-old conflict with food. It's all so absurd. It's somehow so very papa, I couldn't help but laugh.
The best way to a warrior is through their stomach, I guess.
Ignorance begets strife. Understanding begets fellowship.
Now then, I trust you understand the significance of Shibruk Pibil and the history it has written.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing the story with us.
Well, someone was spying on us.
What's wrong?
The Echo told me.
Someone was there, you say?
Perhaps our competition is cooking up some scheme or another.
Something bitter and half-baked, no doubt.
Papa really did live up to his words. He traveled the land and learned about our people's myriad cultures. And we're doing the same now. I hope I have been of sufficient service to the Third Promise. It's thanks to Wukuvu we were able to learn about this first history. That's twice now he's helped us. I think we might never have met him if we hadn't thought to fix the float. Bananas still weigh heavily upon Koalna's mind. Wukuvu has given us valuable insight into the origins of Zeebruk Pabil. However, we are no close to procuring the necessary Najul leaves, unless... Tell me, was it the historic feast commemorated in some fashion, with a monument for instance? Indeed it was, allow me to show you. Everyone's stuck their weapons down, I guess. Here it is. Offered up by the two factions, these weapons symbolize their vow that they would never raise arms against each other. Since this feat demands a journey through history, I thought it is only logical that a monument like this might steer us true. Especially at the one at the heart of so significant a battlefield. Lamachi, Ibuki, would you help me search this area for clues? Tell me if anything catches your eye. Sure thing! Look here, the soil has recently been overturned. Ooh, someone buried a box! Well, I would have been satisfied to find only a hint, but here they are. Fresh Najul leaves. Hunmu Rook's doing, I'd wager. There's poetry in hiding them on this battlefield, given that it was central to the war they helped end. Huh, so he had planned all this from the start. Thank you again, Wukuvu. We wouldn't have found these leaves without your help. It was my honor to render assistance. And with apologies to present company, allow me to offer my encouragement as well, Third Promise. Ever since I witnessed your performance in the Feat of Reeds, I have been certain that you are the claimant most worthy of leading our nation. All devised solutions to Hanuhanu's hailing crops, but you alone sought to know their culture and revive Ihihana, even if it seemed unrelated to your task. In my humble opinion, no one cares more for the people of Tuliolo and what they hold dear. Should you ever again require the historical musings of an old shipwright, I'm ever at your service. For now, I take my leave. And she just waves goodbye. I cannot argue with that. We have what we need. Let us return to Ikbrax. Alright, yeah, I think it's gonna have to be the first stopping point, otherwise this is gonna be a 4-hour stream, and I don't feel like doing that to myself when I missed breakfast. Oh, I also need to remember to use this ether compass. The Zobrit Cinder Field. For many years, the savage war between the Expral and the Mamuljar raged back and forth across this scarred stretch of land. Siege armaments and defensive works yet litter the field decades after the conflict's end. Even the forest greenery seems hesitant to reclaim its ashen expanse. Continue going southwest. Well, I guess we could always move a little bit southwest. Tiaitia. Apparently you can get a giant one of these guys as a mount, but I haven't looked up how. South. Yeah, that's in the other zone. We can't get that yet, sorry. Actually, why am I driving back? Until I have all the areas unlocked, I might as well not even bother chasing ether currents. I feel like such a tourist taking a fancy car into some rural village. You have to wonder whether Vukevu is actually a historian and not a shipwright. I'm glad we were successful. The others should be back soon, I expect. I hope so. I'm famished. How did everyone fare? We got the Najul leaves. Vukevu came along and helped us find them. Vukevu was here? I would have liked to say hello. Yes, he gave us an important history lesson. So let's just recount the whole thing. It's not like the competition's getting any closer or anything. That Gulu Jaja brought an end to a centuries of warfare surprises me little. But to achieve said peace through cuisine is something else entirely. Leave it to my old man to find the oddest of solutions. But how about the rest of you? Is our kitchen ready? Everything should be on order. Urianje and I made another tour of the village and borrowed the cooking utensils we need, with no mention of what we needed them for, of course. And I am pleased to report that we are stocked with the finest firewood this forest had on offer. Spoken like a true expert. Renville and I found our Ebruk, so we should have meat aplenty. It was a spirited creature, so much so that its hunter fell down a cenote trying to catch it. What part of never speak of this to anyone did you not understand? I picked a good portion of local herbs with particular attention to the seeds that yield akiote, and told our resident astrologian to find the appropriate measurements for the seasoning as well. Oh. So apparently Urianje can just perfectly time out cooking just by vaguely guessing at the stars or something. Well, that solves that solution, or that problem. Aye, though further inquiry did I determine the ideal balance of spices. Then all that remains is to prepare the dish itself. I presume that at least one among us is versed in culinary arts. I can hardly claim profound skill, but I have cooked for myself. You can leave the rest to me. And you, I hope I could use your adventurer's grit when it comes to skinning the Ebruk. Imagine being a level 100 culinarian at this quest and not being able to aid. Ooh, my mouth is watering already. Without further delay then. It's time to cook a midnight snack.
Oh, it smells so good.
Good, there is still time. I shall prepare our sample at once.
At first, I wasn't sure about being stuck with the one head. But better that than playing nanny to the mewling house cat.
Be quiet, Bako Jaja. No one cares what you think.
Act tough all you like. Victory will be ours.
Do you think we should have shared with them some bananas?
It's ready. Apologies for the wait. We submit to you our Shibruk Pibil.
This looks amazing.
Don't eat it before we get a chance to have it judged.
The dish is prepared by using the culinary techniques of the Mamulja to cook the spiced meats favored by the Jabral. It is a symbol of peace between their two peoples after centuries of war.
Both the ingredients and your methods appear to have been correct. Now then. In taste, texture, and aroma, you have recreated Shibruk Bibil admirably. Granted, anyone might well achieve similar results by following the recipe to the letter. But you went a step further. You sought to learn the cultural significance of the dish, about Yoktel's history of violence and your father's role in ending it. Your willingness to take lessons from the past befits aspiring Dawn servants. And for that, I commend you. All that remains is to partake of your creation. True understanding is gained only through experience.
Now this is something I'm definitely good at.
Ahem. I believe we have yet to receive our assessment.
You killed the music.
Ours is also a faithful example of Shibruk Pibil, as you will no doubt agree.
Probably the worst thing you could possibly do is interrupt good music. You know, aside from the kidnapping and releasing Valigarmanda.
I see. While your effort looks the part, unlike the second and third promises dish, it lacks its defining aroma.
Preposterous! The meat was marinated and spiced before being steamed in an earthen oven. This is Shibruk Pibil.
Oh? And what about the Jatika banana leaf?
It's because of you that we couldn't get any damn leaves! You can't fault us!
But the second and third promises had no such difficulty, did they? That which they needed they acquired simply by showing interest in our history and heritage.
Ugh, it's just some crusty old leaf. What difference could it make?
If the mammal jar's part of the recipe, I feel like that's a pretty important point to be made here.
Your dish lacks an essential ingredient. As you have failed to demonstrate an adequate understanding of Shibruk Pibil, I must deem your performance unsatisfactory.
Oh, I skipped before he was finished speaking.
This was stupid anyway.
His ambition only grows more intense. That someone could harbor such dark thoughts towards family.
What do I care for this sham of a feat? I can always take what I need later.
Ruklamat doesn't care.
Delicious!
She's just eating.
The brook's so tender it melts in your mouth, and the way the najou leaf rounds out these spices is sublime. This is the taste of harmony. Someone who only knows brute force and deception could never appreciate it.
Don't be like that, Ruklamat.
Choke on your harmony.
Also gives me mild
Come,
Itsuki vibes.
Finish your meal. That too is part of the feat.
Let me describe this food in incredible detail about how wonderful it is.
Don't have to tell me twice. Ah, that was bliss.
It was palatable enough, I suppose.
If it were Charlian, then it'd be different.
To you, who have successfully performed the feat of repast, I present these keystones.
Only 1 feet left.
Well, I should get going then. I'm glad that I wasn't paired with one of the others.
We can do better than that, surely.
Put him in a headlock, Red Hood
The
style.
6th keystone is ours. Thanks for all your help, everyone. I forgot something important. Was there any shipwreck people left? I could really use another helping.
That's not important. And now it's night and raining again. That was so good. I'm already looking forward to having Zeebrugge Pavil again. Zeebrugge. I am so bad at guessing these pronunciations, sorry. Here, Ibuki. Crow made more using leftover ingredients, you'll love it. I'm thinking to buy more for the road myself. Now that the feat of repast is over, the villagers should be free to offer it to us, right? So we can put this down in a house, I guess. Direct hit, vitality, gear durability, experience. New wares are available from the X-Brow merchant in Zeebrugge. The next feat awaits, and Alphino would have you on the road as soon as possible. Seeing as we now face the penultimate objective of the rite, it would be wise to travel to Mamuk and undertake the feat of Brotherhood without delay. Wise, yes, but impossible. The traverse which connects the upper forest to Jatika Heartland is still impossible. Is there no other route? I'm afraid not. Work to clear the path is underway though, so I'm hopeful we can resume our journey soon. Then let us each use this time as we see fit. I, for one, would like to explore the village's surrounds if Ehrenvold would oblige me with a tour. Very well, I have no other engagements. Then I will come with you, if only to prove I am capable of keeping my footing. Though I shouldn't rejoice in our delay, it does afford me opportunity to look into my grandfather's purported visit to Dawntrail. Oh, that's right, Mabalu did say something about a foreign mage coming through here decades back, didn't she? I'll come with you. Want to join us, Ibuki? Let us reconvene here after our respective diversions. As I recall, the merchant met my grandfather at a market in Dawntrail some 20 years ago. Any who might reliably remember him must therefore be at least middle-aged. Let us make inquiries where we can. It's really unfortunate because Crow was supposed to get her spotlight with her grandfather this expansion, but she got very overshadowed by Wooklamart. Wooklamart is just too important to the story, so we just get little scraps here and there of Crow's backstory. I don't like it, but it makes me think of the Nostalgia Critic review where Lois Lane kept saying, "I'm important!" She had to keep insisting that to everyone. A foreign mage 20 years ago. Yeah, I remember him. It's not often we get visitors from across the salt, let alone those traveling with infants. A baby girl, as I recall. I only saw him in passing mind. If anyone were to know more, I would wager it would be Humuruk. He was already Ixbrax Rocks then. A baby girl? It couldn't have been. Thank you, sir. That information is very helpful. I don't dislike Wooklamart. I just hear a lot of backlash about her, and a lot of it does seem to come simply from trans VA. But I feel like there is at least a little bit there that isn't written well about her. Hello again, do you require assistance? A foreign mage passed through XIV 20 years ago, possibly carrying a young child. Do you remember him? Why do you ask me this? Who is this man to you? He may have been my grandfather. I wish to know what brought him here. Your grandfather? Not by blood, but he is family nonetheless. A foreign mage did indeed visit Heatbrax, Master Galoof. So as far as his identity is concerned, I trust you are satisfied? More than that, however, I cannot say. Why not? I simply cannot. I beg your forgiveness and understanding. Remember, he was investigating the Golden City, and we aren't allowed to hear directly about it. We have to actually wait for the we have to wait for the new Dawn Servant to be chosen before we're allowed to ask people about it. We've got to find our own way there. Very well, I will not press. Thank you for confirming his presence here. The rest I will discover myself. Out of a more general curiosity, I have another question. They say the Yokwi once dwelled in these forests. Where was that exactly? General curiosity indeed. But yes, before they withdrew to Urkopacha, some 5 centuries ago, the Yokwi claimed Yaktel as their own. Many of their architectural remains can be found in the lower forests, the Jatika heartland. Then that's where they must have had their visions. Thank you. That answers much and more. I understand what it means so long for one's family, so believe me when I say though my position forbids me from aiding you further, I wish you nothing but success. By helping the Third Promise find the Golden City, you will surely find the answers to your questions. I should have been giving him an accent, but I feel accented out. Speaking of which, I have a query of my own for you, Ibuki. May I request a moment of your company? Go along, we'll wait for you. Thank you for obliging me. First, let us head to the cenote behind this village. You had better not be planning on drowning me. For a start, it's impossible. I have the ability to breathe underwater. It was my intention to see you off without saying anything, but Mistress Kryle's plea has softened my resolve. As the leader of our community, I am gladdened to see the Third Promise has surrounded herself with such compassionate and trustworthy companions. Would you tell me of her journey thus far? We don't have time to tell you the whole thing. I have to give you the Sai Nijima version. Is that so? It seems the rite has been a great source of learning and growth for Wuklamart. It does me well to hear that. My daughter would be about her age. Girls are rarely born among Ixbaral, so when she arrived, the village was elated. Such joy I felt when I held her, and pain when I found her at the bottom of the cenote. 3 years old, an accident it was said, but I knew better. She had been pushed. Though we never caught them, a suspicious figure was seen fleeing towards the Jatika heartland, towards Mamuk. Once bitter enemies, the Mamulja and Ixbaral had learned to live in peace. But who could doubt the intent of such an unrepresentable act? By targeting the child who would one day lead her people, the criminal sought to undermine the future of Ixbral. I was determined to not let them succeed, and so I let the memory of my daughter die in that cenote, and gave her into the care of the one person I knew who would protect her. Dawn servant Gulu Jaja. Though she was born to lead the Ixbral, fate had a grand plan for Wuklamat. Only the Dawn servant and I know the truth, but now I must take you into my confidence for one reason. If the villain who attempted to murder my daughter was indeed of Mamuk, then rancor towards the Ixbral still burns. I was caught off guard once. I will not suffer the same tragedy again. And so I ask you not as the Dawn Servant's elector, but as a father, to watch over the third promise, defend her from our enemies that may still be lurking in the shadows. Will you do this for me? Just for the rest of the expansion, though. Thank you, from the bottom of my heart. Will you hear my question and answer me plainly? Address me not as the ruler of Tuliolo, but a concerned father. She has two dads. Suffice to say, this conversation must remain between us. Pray breathe not a word of this to anyone. Taking a stand. Hunmu Rook stands quietly, his expression one of old pain. Recalling the past has rendered me emotional. I require a moment to compose myself. Please do not keep the third promise waiting. Finished speaking with Hunmu Rook, have you? Upon speaking with Wuklamat, several cutscenes will play in sequence. It is recommended you set aside sufficient time to view these in their entirety. You're back! So, what did Hunmu Rook want? He wanted me to know if I've ever tasted anything better than Ibruk Zubil. It's alright, you don't have to say. More importantly, the Steinbeck Traverse still isn't clear. Something about even more rocks. Then I think I'll take the opportunity to rest. All that cooking and preparing for it has worn me out. And that does sound tempting. A moment, promise. You're one of Bakul Jaja's. What do you want? They've come to fetch you. You're welcome to refuse, but know that it would be most unwise. And why is that? I'm sure your sordid friend has an idea. What do you think? And they say house cats don't come when cold. Follow me, promise. Oh,
what is the meaning of this? And just how far do you plan on taking us?
And now it's gone back to being the middle of the day and clear weather because we just can't have iconic weather ruining the big moment.
Jaja, you snake! If you want my keystone so badly, you deal with me and me alone. Leave the Elector out of this.
I think the plot forgot there's supposed to be a rule against enacting violence on electors.
Is that all you think he is? Foolish kitty! This man is the reason we are here. Take a good look at him. Go on, look. Surely you recognize your real father.
Don't believe us? Then ask your trusted sellsword. She heard it straight from the old man's mouth.
I can't answer that. I'm a silent protagonist.
Is Humuruk my... Your silence says it all.
Damn it, she figured it out.
Now that you understand the situation, let's see those keystones. I'll even let you fight for them. Just you and me. If that adventurer attempts to interfere, I'll kill the old man myself!
You despicable, heartless fiend! Kinsman or no, I won't stand for you taking hostages! Come on then! You want a fight? I'll give you a fight!
Oh, such heroic caterwauling, promise. I'm shaking. Guard our hostage well. We wouldn't want to attempt any thoughts of rescue. By the by, house cat, they've been instructed to put down Papa dearest when you lose. Hopefully he settled his affairs.
Don't worry. I'm not losing to the likes of him. Well, what are you waiting for, you blessed bastards? It's 2 against 1. Don't tell me you're scared.
I know I didn't hear you right.
Don't worry, the scary adventurer won't try anything funny.
Foreign scum! Who are you to mock me? And kill you all! Don't look away, son. I want you to watch as I tear your beloved promise to shreds!
Hey, eyes on me. The house cat, remember? I'll say it again. I'm not losing to the likes of you. I'm going to become Dawn's servant, and I will protect my people!
In this battle, you will play as Wuklamart. Through skillful combat, Wuklamart will gain the resolve she needs to unleash powerful limit breaks. Not only do these attacks deal great damage, they recover HP. Use them early and often to emerge victorious. Your level has been synced to 663. Deliver a ranged attack, increase maximum HP, AoE combo, melee combo with a cure effect at the end, rush a target and deliver an attack with a potency of 150.
Come, you mangy house cat, so I can rip you to pieces!
I'm already missing my reprisal skill.
I'll cut you to shreds!
You didn't tell me about that. Sorry, I need to focus on doing these combos so I can't type my responses anymore. Okay, these are fireballs, they will explode, and he's going to hit us with a knockback about this moment.
No more tricks, Bakuchaja! We're settling this here and now!
Still playing the part of the brave warrior?
Oh boy. And now he's gonna throw a massive AoE at you, so start running and don't stop.
Sweetness is no longer abusing me, brother.
This rite has taught me so much! About my nation, my people, and myself!
Green ring. The green ones are ring AoEs. Make sure you're standing correctly close to those ones. Uh-oh.
Can't keep up.
I thought he was going to do the kick, so I didn't move it out of the way in time. Fortunately, it's a very short vulnerability stack.
How do you like this? Kitty.
You already know how that trick works. But no, I hadn't heard that you picked up the Trails in the Sky remake. Have you played it yet, or... Okay, is this the one with the knockback? Yep, it... Oof, oof, oof. I keep expecting him to use a knockback and he doesn't use it.
I finally understand what it means to live in peace. To greet each day in safety and happiness.
This is the end for you, kitten!
Riotous Rampage. Oh boy, I hope we've got enough HP to survive this. We cannot gain strength from her resolve. Here comes the standards again. Yep, I knew he was going to throw this out.
Not enough to claim the title of Dawn Servant. I must carry on Papa's legacy, his love for our people.
Live it up, son! Why won't you die?
I don't like how much of her HP that one made away. Supreme Standard.
Fine! I'll show you the true power of the Blessed!
This doesn't seem fair. Escape, 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 escape!
I will be the next Dawn Servant, and I'll protect my people's happiness to the last!
Wuplamat gains the strength to exceed her limits.
That's why there's no way I'll ever lose to the light of you!
Tural's embrace.
What? But that was everything I had! I can't stand it anymore! Attack!
And now this is where we use that AoE combo that we've been learning.
This is our fight! Stay out of it! You bring shame upon us! You think we care about your stupid pride? This is for Mamuk! We cannot lose!
Oh, the great Bakul Jaja needs help, I see. Send your whole army, still won't win. I will prove that my allies are right to believe in me.
This AoE combo is way wider range than anything Warrior gets. She gains strength from her resolve, but no limit break quite yet. And Bakuja actually has a vulnerability outward debuff this time.
She wasn't like this before!
You are now in instance area Yaktel 1.
I reclaim what you stole.
No. How can this be? How could that puny house cat beat all of us?
You've caused nothing but trouble with your dirty tricks. Threatening the Hanuhanu, releasing Valyarmanda, harassing me is one thing, but you've endangered too many innocents. No more, Bakul Jaja. I will not stand for it. If you even think of tormenting my people again, you will answer to me.
No. No.
And he goes and forgets he had the way blocked.
What? That was his doing?
The only part left in the saga is the Lay of the Brotherhood in Mamuk. The plan was to force you here so we could take the rest of your keystones.
So that's what he was up to. But, should you be telling us this?
What does it matter? You've beaten us. It's over. We'll release the hostage.
I'm sorry. I was careless.
Are you all right? So what Bakul Jaja said about you and me.
But to single-handedly defeat Bakul Jaja, you truly are the Dawn Servant's daughter. It has been my honor to bear witness to your journey. Promise.
Promise. Yes. That's what I am. I'm Gulul Jaja's daughter, and Tulicholal's next Dawn servant. Come on. Let's rejoin the others.
Seems we were last to return. I'm glad everyone made it back safely. Thank you for having faith in me. Keeping out of the fight even when it got dirty couldn't have been easy for you. But Baku Jaja won't be the last person to threaten those I care about. I wanted to prove to myself I can stand up to such villains even when I stand alone. Which isn't to say I won't ask for your help when I need it, of course, I just know better than that now. Earlier, in the Second Promises camp.
The passage to Mamuk remains blocked. For now, all we can do is try to rest and recover. Perhaps with a meal, as my sister would no doubt suggest. Shall we borrow the kitchens and prepare some Shibruk Bibil?
So thou hast taken a liking to the dish.
As we learn to appreciate the unfamiliar, 'tis only natural that we develop new affinities. There is no shame in this.
Wuklamart didn't leave enough for him.
But there is in ignorance. I had barely considered what the people of Tuli Yolal hold dear. What hopes they harbor for the future. Our nation is built upon the bonds that Father forged during his journey across Tural. But so single-minded have I been in my advocacy of foreign innovations that I failed to understand my own people. Could someone who struggles to connect with the populace ever make a worthy Dawn servant?
To understand and connect with people is by no means easy. But there is something you can do to pave the way. Let them see you for who you really are. What makes you laugh and cry and rage. That sort of honesty is the first step towards mutual understanding and connection.
Understanding begets fellowship, as my father said. And yet, what you suggest does not come naturally to me.
I, too, have found it difficult to speak from the heart. In thy struggles, I see mine own, painful in their familiarity.
Moon Rabbits tried to turn you into the spy yet again.
Yet frightening though it may feel, if we are to move forward, we must indeed take that first step. Dispense with pretense, and simply be.
Do you remember when you first approached us, and we asked you why you wanted to become Dawn Servant? You said you wished to use the knowledge you acquired in Sharlayan for your country, and in doing so repay your father for the opportunities he afforded you. What won me over was not your ambition, but your motivation. So let your people know this, and in time, they'll come to support you as we do. You can't hide behind that stoicism forever.
Very well then. I will make a greater effort to be myself. By not being my usual self so much.
And with that, we're going to wrap up the stream. Next time, well, we've only got one keystone left to get, huh? We're probably going to beat the game. That'll be fun. Till next time, guys, take care. I'll see you all around.